Find yourself a booth, order up a cold one. This is the Spring Bar.
Hey everybody, welcome to Spring Bar. Glad to have you here. I am Florida Mike, today with my co-host Joe and the OC, Casey. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
I'd like to know what a carpaccio is.
It is a thinly sliced meat, usually with some pecorino cheese over the top.
A pecorino cheese?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
But see, they don't serve that outside the doors of Watches and Wonders.
Oh, really?
Generally reserved for the people that are invited inside. We would not be. Yeah,
we would not be.
No.
But nevertheless, we're going to go opine upon the releases of the 2023 Watches and Wonders in this episode.
This is true.
This is true. But before we get started, I just want to point out I'm into new digs here.
New digs.
I have moved, which is why I wasn't available last episode. I have been under so much stress, and it has eaten up so much time. But I have moved into a new studio, the Spring Bar Florida Studios version 2.0. And I have a whole lot more space, and I got some cool stuff behind me. And who knows, maybe I'll make this like a revolving display. We'll just keep changing things out every episode. We'll see how that goes. But
okay, we'll hold our breath on that one.
Yeah. Joe's already started. It's gonna be a long 2 weeks for you, Joe. What's going on with you guys? I missed recording with you last time. So what's been going on since then? We really haven't had much of conversations in the last 2 weeks. I've just kind of been.
You've been out of it, man. Well,
yeah,
I mean, moving's always such a busy thing, particularly as you get older and you actually have stuff versus saying, okay, I'm moving to another apartment when I'm in college. It's a much different experience.
Yeah. You don't realize.
Quick, dude, grab that mattress.
Yeah. You don't realize how much you have until you have to box it up and move it. Not necessarily move it, but box it. When you kind of box it and label it, it's how much shit can I throw away?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. So
yeah,
we're not moving. So it's all right. It's all right. I'm feeling. It's a really nice day. The rain looks like the rain has stopped. So it's a beautiful outside. Wind is up. Kids are playing. It's glorious.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I mean, nothing too major outside of the watch world. I mean, I'm going to be leaving for JRTC this May, which is this fictitious war we've been fighting for decades. Essentially, you just send units there and they get completely shit on by the OPFOR. And it's just supposed to make you ready for actual war. But it's going to be just like, hey, how badly can I humiliate this brand new lieutenant is pretty much how this is going to go. Yeah.
Perfect. It builds.
I'm praying to God they don't say some dumb shit like, hey, I need you to take your platoon and build these roads, because I'm going to be like, you do know my degree is not in engineering, right? Like, I'm good with numbers. Like, go make me dig anti-vehicle ditches.
No,
like,
see, because you remember you took a class.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You took a class. You're qualified.
A whole week on that. But they're like, yeah, we're going to spend 4 months on combat engineering. Listen here, any monkey can take some dynamite and go blow something up, okay? But when we're talking about roads, there's numbers involved.
Well, yeah, you're more excited than I am. That's for sure.
And how long is that for?
It's 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, but this next week I've got my 50 cal Mark 19 range, which I'm pretty excited about. Unfortunately, I can't shoot those weapons anymore because I'm supposed to be the officer in charge. But it's pretty cool. So we're gonna have like 7 50 caliber machine guns just barking away, and then we got a Mark 19, which is a fully automatic grenade launcher. That's always fun.
All right, so risks and drinks. Who's going first?
I'll go first because I got no NWA. I got nothing. So
dang.
I know.
I'm surprised.
I know.
I'm
It was the
surprised.
same thing last. It was the same thing last time too. I've got nothing. I've got nothing.
Are you sure you have nothing? I feel like you got something new in.
What's
Did you
the
get nothing?
status on your eBay watch list? Let's get an update on that because I know I
Oh.
grilled you about it last time.
You did. Okay. So I'm like, what? You want to know how much I'm watching or what's coming
Well,
up?
no, just is there anything new that you've added to the watch list?
There is. There is. It's another 666. Mike actually found it, and it's kind of like my chronograph, but it's got that funkier bezel and the same kind of chunky thing. It's got a different dial. They're funky and chunky, and
yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
yeah.
What's it up to right now? Are you looking
I
at
don't
it?
even know. I don't even know.
Let me see.
I'm
if I
not
can
going to
find
say
it real quick.
anything. I'm trying to get that watch for crying out loud.
Yeah, but just because it's up to something doesn't
Want me
mean
to
that's
want me
what
to
it's gonna say.
advertise it? Everybody will know then. I know a week after the auction's over.
Yeah. Well, what's the item number, Joe? Let's tell everybody what the
Yeah,
item
right.
number is. Oh,
Let me see if I
where
can
is it
find it.
at? Let me see here. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's
Still.
not. It is not a
All
bad
right,
price.
all right. You gotta freaking help me out. Throw that in the group chat because I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right.
Are you
I'll
gonna
hook
put it
you.
up there?
I'll hook you up. If you bid on it though, dude, we're.
I cannot. Like you and I had a conversation last week about how I cannot be blowing money on watches for the next foreseeable future.
Right. Well, so on the wrist today is the Bolova, sort of the Ukraine colors.
That's you know
Ooh.
what? That's a cool colorway. I
really
I
is.
like that.
It really is.
I
And
like that more than the
issue,
green.
though- the issue though with this sucker that's kind of funny. The rumor was it was like a Norwegian Cruise Lines option.
No,
That's the
started
story.
that.
I don't know
No.
I don't know if it's official story, but they were definitely sold there. But it's also
That's the scuttlebutt.
it seems to be completely discontinued though, which I find it's so strange because these watches, these double divers, so there's the blue and orange, there's the Coke, there's the this one, the blue and yellow, there's the green and black. And now it's just that orange one that's a smaller size, different case. And
I'm pulling it up
the green and
now.
black.
I'm gonna see which ones are left here. But yeah, I noticed that too. They're starting to thin out what they have, which makes me wonder, what are they gonna start coming out with next?
Something might be coming.
Yeah,
Wonder if it's purple.
it's what the Purple Rain Devil Diver. I don't know about that.
So
Purple haze.
speaking of that, I will be having the blueberry and lavender kombucha with 1 billion Cephus bacillus subtilis.
What? Is there alcohol in it at least?
No.
Okay, so for things that we can't pronounce, Devil Diver. The only two that are up on the website are the green and the orange, the one that you Cerakoted. That's it.
Yep.
That's all I got up right now.
That's it. The only ones that are available. Everything else is
Interesting. I'm
Yes.
surprised they got rid of the original, the red and black.
I am too. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. So that's all I got. That's what's up for me. What do you got, Mike?
So I'm wearing my Snoopy Q, my timeless Q with Snoopy down there at 6 o'clock. It's just a great grab and go, perfect lounge around the house kind of watch.
Is it that Pan Am one, right?
No. This is
not
the
that.
Snoopy.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Snoopy.
yeah.
Pan Am.
No,
You're
the
thinking
Pan Am-
about Zodiac.
The Pan Am one, that was for my girlfriend's father for Christmas this last year, which was really cool. I mean, that thing, it's very cool. Obviously supposed to look like an IWC big pilot, which it does.
Right.
But in its own way with the Pan Am logos and the way they did it up, I mean, that's for the price again, and they're killing it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that was good.
Amazing piece.
So, and I'm drinking because when you move, you buy all kinds of alcohol for those that help you. So I have some mojito. My mint went bad, so I don't have any mint inside here, but it's mojito nonetheless.
Nice. Backhand noise. So I got my
KC's wearing something really cool.
freaking Cartier. I can't even say it proper. Like,
Cartier?
I got my Cartier tank.
That that surprised the heck out of me, man. When you said that you were picking that up, that you picked that up, that blew me away. I'm really impressed with that. I really am.
Dude, I felt like such a peon scrub walking in there because I shit you not, the people there made a point to be like, "Oh, is that the one that's only coated in gold?" Like I'm telling you, I was just like, yes. I will see myself out now. Thank you for taking my
Jeez.
money.
All right, but now let's talk about that though, because you
Yeah.
brought it in for service, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I picked this up and it was pretty scruffy when I picked it up and the price was according.
So I just want to point out that I hit the nail on the head pretty darn close as to what that service bill was going to be.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You did.
Give or take. I don't think you quite factored in how extensive it was going to be. Like
Maybe
as far
not
as
as
all the work they were
extensive,
going to do.
but I
Because when I
figured that's
got
what the
back,
bill was going to be.
yeah. What
So
what I
talk-
ended up
talk
getting
it through.
back was just the case.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
Yeah.
I brought this non-running in Cartier, Musta Cartier tank. And so they went through and they serviced everything. They were insistent that the dial, the hands, the movement, and the crown all had to be replaced. They even replaced the spring bars.
Ooh,
Dude, I've got solid gold spring bars.
really?
Yeah, because that's not what originally. I had some cheap the aftermarket ones, and when I looked at the spring bars chain out of strap, I was like, "What the is this?" I didn't know they even made gold spring bars.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Little
So
added
anyway, I mean, it
extras.
was good. My customer service experience was not very positive. Maybe it's that particular place, but it was kind of like why didn't you buy a new one?
Really?
Yeah. Was not a positive experience.
I find that to be, it's an interesting thing. I forget who I was talking about that. I've been talking about that a little bit recently. And that Rolex is really big on that if you send anything, if you want to get replacement parts for something, you have to send the original back. So in the vintage world, if you want it serviced by Rolex, you're kind of screwed, because they're going to take your patina dial and they're going to give you a brand new one, because for them,
Yeah.
it's always about how good the piece can be.
Yes.
The halo of the brand and all the rest of it. And you can't get an extra part. You can't order a dial from Rolex. You have to return a dial.
So I went over to see my in-laws this weekend, and they're close to the Rolex AD, so I popped by there, and
Show your
I had
face,
my
right?
Explorer 1 on, and I lost the spring bar. So I was like, "Hey, is there any way we can get a new spring bar in for this?" Holy crap! It was like pulling teeth. I'm like, I'm not asking you to allocate me a watch. I want a 19 millimeter spring bar.
You need to get on the list.
Yeah, pretty freaking nuts. I'm like, that's some bullshit.
You should have gone with your shirt and be like, "It says the spring bar. I need one."
Yeah. Well, okay,
Advertising
on
for
that-
you.
On that, I went to the good AD, the one that sold me
Yeah.
the Rolex. So these guys are actually really nice, and they seem to be genuine watch people. So I met someone else who I'm going to ask to potentially come on the show and
cool.
talk to us about what it's like to sell watches. This guy seemed pretty chill. So maybe if you guys are interested, you can talk to us about what it's like to be somebody who has to tell people no all the time.
That'd be fantastic. I would love to have that conversation. We're gonna have to make
An
sure we
AD insight for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was super chill, and like he was talking to me about he's like, yeah, I would really like to be able to tell my friends I can get them Rolexes, but the fact of the matter is I really can't, because I don't ever know when we're going to get the next allocation. And when we do, we already have this preordained list. So
We should do a Rolex AD listener Q&A and just let everybody roast them.
ooh, that would be savage. I don't think he'd want to come on for that.
Oh, that would be so bad though.
in case he's
But,
never getting
so-
another Rolex then either.
Hold
Yeah,
on. I got one more question about your Cartier there. Did they do anything to the case?
They did not.
They didn't brighten it up or nothing?
Not that I could tell.
Interesting.
So I overall not a big fan of the experience. Probably, I don't know where you would go take a quartz tank to get serviced by an independent anyway, because sourcing those parts, it was going to be very close to what the AD ended up charging me.
Yeah.
So I don't
If you're
know.
looking for a vintage quartz movement that's Cartier signed
Yeah.
that works.
Well, okay, so that's the other thing, right? So I did look into trying to see if there was a swappable movement, and supposedly these Musta Cartiers, they're proprietary. Like
No
you have
way.
to use whatever. Now, Magic Hands probably could figure
Probably.
it out, but
Probably.
then it would take a little while of testing out different movements and
Yeah.
but yeah, so in the glass, I've got Voodoo Ranger, which is probably one of my current favorites. Again, 9%.
It's
And
gonna
I've
be-
got two of them in a true German
Oof.
glass,
There you-
which this one's pretty sweet because the little guy holding the beer, as you drink, his beer gets lesser and lesser.
Casey's gonna be fun to talk to at the end of the show.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh man! All right. This is my new watch alert.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
This is an Invicta Pro Diver from when I graduated high school. My parents finally were like, yo, get your BS out of our house, and dumped a whole bunch of crap I've been postponing moving for like almost 9 years now. Yeah, so I was digging through that junk and found this. And honestly, I'm super relieved because because at the time I didn't appreciate watches.
Right.
So I'm sitting here thinking, ding, that was so stupid. You shouldn't have thrown that away. And it was there the whole time. But so it's a, Rolex Submariner, but it's got a Seamaster bezel, the whole scallop bezel thing.
Scallop bezel, yeah.
And it's bidirectional.
Of course.
So is
Quality.
that the Miyota or the Seiko movement?
Well, this is an NH35.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
so it's one of the newer batches.
Huh.
But it doesn't have a yellow rotor.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that. Maybe
So
a
that's a very
transitional
good point. I
period.
wonder if this is fairly early on into their transition to NH35.
Yeah, could be. That's cool though that you found that. Still runs, still works.
Oh yeah, dude, it fired right up. But of
It's
course,
like a
I was a
movement, of course it did.
dirtbag, and I didn't appreciate it at the time, so I didn't get much wrist time.
Well, now
Because
that
I
you're a
was a
big
kid.
Invicta collector,
What's that?
I said now that you're a big Invicta collector, hey,
yeah,
I got a
it
box
came
for you
through
up here.
real clutch. This is what, my third Invicta?
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, so
funny.
that's me wrapped up. So moving on to Mike.
So Joe, you really don't have anything new?
I got nothing.
Okay,
New.
so I'm gonna pull a you. I want
Okay.
to pull a Joe here.
Okay.
I have this. This is technically new to me.
Okay.
This is a gold dial, gold cased Bulova Oceanographer. What is it? The Setomatic. It doesn't say dual day, so
No.
it's not the Setomatic dual
Not on
day,
that
but it is another version of the gold dress 666, like you and I both have. So it's kind of bittersweet. I could have made a lot of money off you, but I'm glad I don't have to sell you mine now. I'm glad we have another matching watch. But
Another
this is
matching
cool. It's just another iteration. Gold dial. The markers are slightly different than the versions that you and I both share.
Yeah. That
the-
pale dial.
The date is framed a little differently. Like I say, it's missing the dual day markings on it. The handset is different. But it's just cool. It's cool. It's not these
That's
cases.
not the Canadian market one,
That's
is
the
it?
we think
Yeah,
it's the Canadian,
Canadian ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
one. And there's no information on it. So if anybody knows,
No,
shoot
yeah,
us a
there's
line.
you can't find anything on these. No advertisements or nothing.
That's
So
super
that's-
cool. That's one of the things I love. I mean, I've obviously fallen out of my Bulova Caravel, but I love watching you guys go through this stuff and finding some obscure things like that. Like, how do you know it's a Canadian market?
So,
That's
so the deal with this one though, it's all kind of supposition and conjecture because Mike had the first one that I've ever seen, and you got it from someone who got it from.
So I went back 2 owners, and 2 owners back, he said he bought it from a pawn shop in Canada
Okay.
The story that the pawn shop gave him was it was a display piece from a jewelry store,
Right.
Huh.
which is why
The-
mine's in the
the
condition
ones-
that it is.
The ones that I got were also sold out of Canada, and I got 4. That the one that Mike's got, then I've got 3 others that are
Well, and in fact, go ahead.
and there's
keep-
there's one listed right now that's also in Canada.
Yeah, I was just going
There
to
was
pull
one
up.
that was
I
so
see.
like they're
Lots
all
of-
coming from there. So it
Where's this at? So yeah, so this one that's listed here, this one is in Quebec. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So I reached out to Bulova Canada, like, hey,
Yeah,
you know
but
anything about this? They're like, yeah, send a message to Citizen. I'm like, okay, because they're not
so
going to know
actually,
either.
there's
Yeah, they're
two.
Yeah,
There's 2 on eBay right now. Both are in 2 different cities in Quebec.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
definitely a Canadian market piece. But I do have something actually new, not necessarily a watch, but it is a Bulova.
What do you got?
I have a Bulova Stars and Stripes bracelet.
oh,
Yeah.
Look at you getting your metrosexual on.
Oof.
Mike's,
Get outta here.
Mike's going to start stacking now. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
savage.
it's
Gonna
a
get
red,
that
white, and
Kabbalah
blue
little red ribbon too. Oh, it's gonna be good.
braided leather, has a little star logo on one end. It has
Wait, is this an actual Bulova product?
It's an
Yeah,
actual
I-
Bulova
I
product.
don't know if you can see it right there. It's got the Bulova logo on that clasp.
Huh.
And it matches both the chronograph C and the Jetstar Stars and Stripes. So
Cool.
they were
Merca.
on sale. They were blowing them out.
Yeah.
I think it retailed for like 175. I got it for $20.
$20.
So for 20 bucks,
What, eBay?
no,
20
this
bucks
was
for-
from the Citizen Company outlet store.
Huh.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
one that's
so-
out here. There's one that's in Torrance, which is where most of the stuff ships from. And I got to see if I can get on that list. I want to go check that out because they do like
You
parking.
have
lot
you have a
sales there.
Citizen Watch outlet by you?
Yeah, just
See?
up the road.
See, and the one by me, I would imagine they're all probably the same, has a little section in the back of the wall when you walk in, and that's the 65% off section. And they rotate what they put inside there, but that's where you find the good deals.
Yeah,
Huh.
got to go see their parking lot sale someday.
Like
Anyway.
my Stars and Stripes, that was a 65% off deal. Got that
Yeah,
one really
and it was
cheap.
also yours is a B stock too, right?
Mine's a B stock too. Yeah.
The label B stock.
So yeah, so that's that. So moving on, what's on tap today?
Watches and wonders.
Wonders.
Watches and wonders. So that whole show just wrapped up last week. We've had a little bit of time to process, and our goal today was to kind of bring you our impressions of what we were seeing, at least through media, through living vicariously through the upper echelons of the watch blogosphere, who got to go and check out and handle and deal with all of the wonder and the watches apparently. So our goal
Right.
today is to bring you 2 good, 1 bad, our hot takes. So
And so now you can say it's not always Bulova all the time. Okay, we're gonna
Right.
talk about
right, we just
other
spent the
stuff.
we just spent the whole pre-show talking.
Yeah.
All right,
But so what we got Mike up talking
Mike, you're up.
about
I'm at the top of the list. So I'm going to start with Resence. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, and I mean, so I'm sure some of our listeners are, what Resence watches are and how they work. They're very, so I know a guy who has one. He
oh
has
really?
he has the Resence Type 8, which I'm not 100% sure what they debuted at Watches and Wonders. I know that the Type 8, the Sage Green dial was
Yeah.
a new one they just came out with.
It's an interesting color.
It is an interesting color. It's very cool. The guy that I know has the Cobalt Blue. This is, so we're going to call this the basic Resence watch. Okay.
Yeah.
It's essentially an hour-minute display. Starts at $12,500
Yes.
for the entry level Resence.
Oof.
They're
He
cool,
was-
though, man.
they're so
the
cool.
dial is so cool.
He was telling me about it, and I forget the exact number, but it's something like there's 120 individual pieces that are added to the movement in order to make the dial work. So basically what it is, if you're not familiar with these, you have a offset, almost a sub dial for the hours. Then you have a larger kind of crescent moon shaped section for the minute hand, and it all rotates together,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you have the
Hour hand
hour-
orientation. Hour hand orientation stays as it moves all the way around. The
Yeah.
minute hand, that whole dial rotates, and then there's a second sub dial, and there's also a sometimes there's a day function too.
Yeah, but can you get
Yeah.
a similar effect from olive oil in a quartz watch?
They do have an oil filled version. You're right.
Yeah. But very cool watches. If you get into the more complicated pieces, they have a whole lot more rotating mechanism and pieces in the dial itself. I mean, look them up, look at them. They're super cool, super
They've got
expensive.
they've got
but
a couple
super
different
cool.
case shapes, and they've got that open work. The open work dials are
Mhm.
really, really cool. There's some neat stuff. They're doing some really neat stuff.
Yeah, real cool stuff. But that's my first pick. I really like what they're doing. I like the thinking outside of the box watches. So kind of continuing on with that outside the box theme, Jaeger LeCoultre JLC, as we call it. They came out with a new Reverso. So this is called, where is the JLC Reverso Tribute Chronograph. On one side, it's a two-hand, real nice, elegant display, as you would expect from JLC.
Mhm.
There's a couple of pushers above and below the crown, but once you reverse it, it has a skeletonized dial with a chronograph that has a oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? The minute counter?
Minute repeater?
No, it's a the minute counter. What did that?
Totalizer? What is it?
Retrograde. There it is.
Retrograde.
I couldn't think of what it was called.
Worked hard for it. Good for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So it's really cool. It has a skeletonized dial with a retrograde minute counter at the 6 o'clock. What blows me away about this watch is it's one movement that
Yeah,
operates both sides of this watch,
in
which
opposite directions.
blows my mind in opposite directions.
Yeah,
Talk about engineering
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
at its best.
yeah.
That's
Like,
cool.
There's a differential that's in there that's got to just be exceptional. Yeah, that's a
Oh
really
my
cool
gosh.
watch too.
Yeah.
I
It's-
would
it's-
say I would rank the Reverso over the tank any day.
Oh, any day. I agree with you 100%. That's like
Yeah.
perfect. But
If
see,
anything, it's something my ADHD would want. Like I'd just be there flipping that watch all day.
it's a
long.
fidget spinner. You got a fidget spinner on your wrist. You know, it's like the bezel, right? If you
Yep.
do the clicks on the bezel, you're fine. But like for me though, I love JLC. I love the Reverso. I don't want a dual face. I want the solid case back. I don't want the. And
See,
I've been looking for the right one, and it's probably going to be like vintage, and it'll be that really small size.
I like what you're talking about with the case back, but I think this is really cool.
It is.
It's two watches in one, right? It's not, you're not flipping it over, because what's the point of flipping it to the solid case back? It's basically for sport, right? If you're playing in a sport,
Yeah.
you flip it over and you don't.
So you don't
lose
worry
the
about
dial.
pulling.
Yeah, but this is cool because you can dress it up, you can dress it down.
Well,
real
okay,
nice
hang on.
kind of-
We are not dressing down a JLC Reverso.
No,
I'm just saying.
No,
If you have a skeletonized chronograph, you can dress that down. You can.
I am
wear
not
that.
wearing that
Are you
with
kidding
cutoffs.
me? Dude, I love to
Cutoffs,
dress
no,
down like
not cutoffs,
freaking.
but-
I mean, the freaking
I get it. I get it.
Rolex on
but
a NATO. I mean, dude, Come on, you can totally dress down fancy schmancy fancy
Yeah,
pants
for sure you
watches.
can. And this is
I
the
know you
perfect watch
can,
to do
but
it with.
I am not wearing
That's
a
the
reversal.
best.
I'm not wearing a reversal with flip flops. I'm not.
Okay.
Dude, I've been running around like, a granddad in my Hawaiian shirt with a Cartier tank. Dude, that's the
Dude,
best
it-
freaking
A
look.
reversal with shorts in
Yeah.
a resort casual wear. Come on, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking reversal with flip flops, cutoffs, and a wife beater.
Well, all
As,
right.
as I go to the convenient
Listen.
mart to pick up some more beef jerky and a 6-pack. It's
If
not.
that's your attire, then you probably mugged somebody for it. Then.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're running around with one flip flop.
yeah.
Right.
All right. So
But
moving
I
on
would
to
say
my.
that the reversal I'd want is the day night indicator one. It's got two faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
the silver and the black.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a moon phase.
Right.
But I'm not really sure what exactly that's supposed to
Well,
tell
there's
me.
there's a ton of options because they've been doing the reversal for so long, and there's all these different iterations and different versions, and I mean you can, and the size changes too because you've got like at least 3 sizes.
Mhm.
Dude, I
you
don't
can find-
like. It's got to be the small one for me. I don't like the freaking massive
I don't either.
Victus size
no.
Yeah.
ones.
It's got to be that legit Art Deco size.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yep.
100%.
So which one are you
moving on,
doing on?
my doo-doo watch is going to be Grand Seiko.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know. The Grand Seiko Elegance Collection, the SPG Z001.
Is that
This is
hammered
what I'm-
one?
This is what I'm calling the hammered case watch.
I
The
think you are
hammered,
so
hammered dog
wrong.
poop.
I think you are
No.
so wrong on that.
So let me explain to you how Grand Seiko came up with the design. It's very easy, right? Somebody had a beautifully finished case. It fell out of the car they were riding in and it got ran over, and that's what was left over. It looks terrible.
I love that watch deeply.
From a company that is known for their case finishing, their sharp edges, the polishing that they achieved, the angles, everything. They make such beautiful watches, and they put out this tree bark piece of garbage.
Love it. I love that watch. I love that watch. I like everything about it. I like the proportions. I like the case shape. I like the finish on the case as well. I think that you are 100% wrong.
I 100%
I
correct.
don't know. I don't necessarily think I hate it. I just don't think I would want it.
Ah, see, look at that. Now we got nothing because it's 3 different.
It's-
What I do appreciate is how it seamlessly flows between the case and the dial. That
is.
is
And that's
cool. So
that's
it
part of the
almost
problem
looks to be
too.
one
Is
piece.
it's silver on silver on so it's so monotone.
Oh,
Save
I love
for
monotone.
the blue seconds hand, right?
I love
okay.
that watch. I think
But
that's a
it's
great
just
one.
if I could put any sound to describe what that watch looks like, it's that would be it.
It
Well,
sounds
and
better.
so
in
it looks
Japanese.
like they even made the strap try to kind of flow because
Yeah.
it's an alligator thing and the ridges are silver.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, because the whole watch got ran over.
Yeah.
So
What? So yeah, 39 millimeters. That's pretty good. Holy shit. It's 9.8 millimeters thick.
I'm sure everything else about this is fantastic. You look at the back side of this watch, the display case. I mean, the back of the movement is just gorgeous, as you would expect it to be from Grand Seiko. But
Yeah.
come on, I just nope.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it.
Fantastic. I like it.
And not only is it horrible, but it's limited, and
Yep.
it just cost you a mere $76,000 for something that if you send me a watch, I'll take a hammer to it and I'll do it for way cheaper. So those are my picks. Moving on, who's next on the list? Who's next? KC.
It's your
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I've been characterized previously as the Rolex fanboy, which slowly I'm finding more difficult to challenge day by day. So, all right, we'll start off with Rolex real quick. They clapped off the freaking Cellini, good riddance, goodbye, no one cares. But they also murdered the Milgauss, which is a watch that, while I think looked cool, I would never want to own.
I was
I like
like,
the
the thing
Milgauss.
for me, that second hand has never worked for me. I get that that's like the defining feature. The green
Yeah.
glass, I get, but for the earlier iterations of that with the straight
Yes.
second stand, I'm set with that. And then there's also like the older waffle dial, like the first
Mhm.
generation of those, which are
And I
kind of,
think at the end of the day, I don't go to Rolex for whimsical, which they totally went this year with the
Oh,
freaking
gosh.
emoji and party ball dial thingy.
Can we all agree that those are just terrible too?
Those,
you know
I don't know
what?
what, I don't know
Those
what's worse.
those
the
are
little
going
ball
to
things
those are going to
or
sell
the
for double.
emojis?
They're selling for double
They-
right
They
now.
probably will, but they're
They're going to sell for double if they
horrible.
don't do it as a continuing line. If it was a limited,
Bro, what's worse, the little party balls or the emojis? I don't
the
know.
emojis. Well, you know what though? I
No.
was thinking about this. I was thinking about
party
this. The
balls,
emojis,
the upwatch.
the emojis aren't going to
upwatch.
matter because now you don't have to set the day or the date. You never have to. You don't need to put
That's
it on a
true.
watchfinder. You're fine. Right?
Fuck, I mean,
It's
shit,
very true. Yeah.
whatever. Appropriate words. Why did I buy a date to not have the day or date?
Because you need a positive affirmation,
Yeah.
like hope.
Okay. I mean, the mere fact that I own a Rolex is enough positive affirmation for me. Like, jeez. All right, so yeah,
you know what's
that-
funny about Rolex and Watches and Wonders? It was less about what they came out with new and more about what they discontinued.
Oh, 100%, dude. Everyone was all horn dogging over what the prices
know.
are going to be like.
Wasn't it you, Casey, that put in the group chat? If I have to read discontinued Rolex one more time,
Yes. Now, what I do appreciate is the titanium Yachtmaster. I'm not exactly a big fan of the 42 millimeter. If they came out in 40, that I would actually potentially launch a crusade to acquire. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, there was like Sir Ben Ainslie had that prototype and it was on like
Yep.
it was on a canvas strap or something like that with no date. It was this weird, people were zooming into his yacht, trying to get a wrist shot, not even caring what's going on the boat.
So people are comparing the Pelagos, which I've owned, to this.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, the Pelagos does kind of, in tool watch fashion, beat out this Yachtmaster, with exception of the grade of titanium. Pelagos is type 2. This is grade 5, which
Yeah.
grade 5 has that oxidation element that essentially masks over scratches. Whereas my Pelagos, that was not the case.
So this is
Literally.
like a dark gray, right?
Yeah.
It's a dark gray, and the bezel insert is an even more muted.
Yeah.
So it kind of flows better with the rest
So
of the
that's
watch.
that is cool. I'll give it that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of titanium. I'm not sure I would like the weight, but I like the way it looks. That is pretty neat.
It's a
Well, what
good,
kind of gets me is, why is it a Yachtmaster though? Yachtmaster is supposed to be this ritzy high-end Submariner.
okay.
when now we're
How much does it
punching
cost?
into tool watch. It's 15,000.
There you go. That's
Yeah, okay,
right.
that still doesn't track because a Pelagos is like 4,000 or 5,000.
Right. But that's because it's a
Um,
Yachtmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I like this. We'll see when my my tutor sub comes in whether or not I'm willing to, if that quashes my any sort of dream of a Submariner at all. Like, if that's my watch, that'd be great.
It'll take care of that
um,
problem for sure.
Yeah, so that was Rolex. Really, that's kind of the only thing worth talking about from Rolex. Tudor, on the other hand, Tudor is my jam. I love Tudor.
Hang on. You don't have an opinion about the new Explorer?
Oh, I forgot about the new Explorer. Yeah, because I got the perfect one, so what does it matter? I don't know. Some people, I've heard like theories about how the 36 hasn't been selling well. That's why they went to 40. Well, if that's the case, why bother? Why wouldn't you just discontinue the 36 if it sucks so bad? Clearly, Rolex still thinks they can sell a 36.
Yeah, well, it's become a ladies' watch now.
Well, you know what? I am one smexy lady, all right?
You are very secure, sir. Very secure.
All
right.
right, so on to the real star of the show, freaking Tudor. I don't know how I feel about the 37. So what is this? This is the Tudor 54,
Yeah.
which comes out in a 37 millimeter case. You get the T-fit clasp, which is the step in the right direction. Perfect. That is one of my favorite elements of the LHD, was just that easy on the go adjustment. But I've experienced a 36 millimeter Seamaster and a 36 millimeter Tudor Submariner, and they both felt small, probably because of the whole optical effect of the bezel being there.
That's
So
I find that really interesting for you. I wouldn't have expected that, particularly since you're wearing that Cartier.
Yeah, and I certainly, what I do appreciate is I was kind of hoping this is a sign the watch industry is moving back to smaller watches, so I don't want to shit on it, because I want the watch industry to go back to smaller sizes. But
Right.
I can only imagine what that's got to look like, because I just bought that Dan Henry, and that's isn't that a 37 as well? I forget. Yeah,
your
I
watch.
think
I don't
the
know.
Dan Henry is a 37
Oh.
that I've got. And I can't imagine a
huh.
Black Bay being that size.
Yeah, 39 I think that's the right size for a Black Bay.
I think that's the sweet spot. Yeah.
And that's the size of my Tudor Submariner.
See, I want to try one on. I want to see one because I'm okay with 36, 35 for a diver. That doesn't bother me at all. I like it. I actually prefer it.
Well,
So,
and
so
see,
my Carabels are that way.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
like it. It's a good size for what I have, that skin diver watch. But for something like this, I don't know. I think that is far too small.
Because, I memean, Mike, do you look at this as a modern tool watch, whereas your Dan Henry is a, vintage themed?
It's exactly, yeah, that's exactly how I
Okay,
feel.
yeah, I feel the same way.
I don't
Yeah.
think you could call the Tudor a skin diver,
No,
regardless,
not at all.
right?
No, that's a proper dive
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Now, what I do appreciate is they have chopped off the excess on the crown tube. So now your crown sits closer to
It's flush, so you don't have that
case.
color, that colored bezel.
Yeah, so this I think looks cleaner.
Mm.
The dial is this gilt effect, which
Hmm.
all right, whatever. It's okay. It's not like a selling point for me. I kind of wish they'd retained that red pip at the top.
Yeah. Break it up just a little.
That would have been the perfect, bang homage. But I guess Tudor always has to play this game of, if I go too close to a Rolex, then I'm a homage watch and I'm not my own thing. So
I'm looking at it here on the mayor's jewelry website, and you can get it for $134 a month with a firm.
Oh,
well, okay, is it 0% interest? Because if it's not,
in 6 months.
Yeah.
yeesh.
$134 a month for the first 5 months, and then the final payment of
Bro, my freaking car
$27.50.
payment back when I had one was only $100 a month. I'm not doing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, all right, let's go on to, I guess the one that I'm going to doo-doo on is the Tudor GMT, because I'm going to try to stay in my lane and only speak to Tudor or Rolex.
You don't like the GMT? I like the GMT.
I love the GMT, but I don't like the thickness or the size. 42 is too big, and the 13 plus thickness is too much. The white dial is freaking killer, though.
You like that? The dial didn't work for me quite as well. I get it, but
I would have rather seen a white dial on the Tudor Pro.
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because if I were to get an Explorer 2, I would get a white dial.
Yeah. The Polar.
So-
Yeah.
But that wraps up my hot takes for Tudor and Rolex for 2023. Joe.
All right,
please.
my turn. And I am talking about the Chanel J12 Eclipse box set with 7 watches.
What's a Chanel?
It's like Cartier when they bought a different vowel.
Oh, okay.
So Chanel is a fashion house. It is a really high-end fashion house, and they have started doing watches. And so you're starting to see some of these guys are coming out with some pretty fantastic pieces. And Hermes has got a few different iterations.
Yeah.
Chanel watches are turning out really well. The Tiffany branded stuff is also doing really well. But these watches, it's a, they have their own proprietary movement, and it starts with a black, and then they just sort of slice away sides of it until you get to something that's fully white, and there's 7 of them, and it's pretty cool in a ceramic case. Well, sometimes, and there's a couple different versions, not of this. This is like, these are a limited set, and you have to buy all 7. It's like,
No, hell no.
oh man, yeah, you want a 7 watch collection? You got it. You're done. They
Wait, what? How much you want for this?
Price is on request.
Yeah, okay. All right. Listen here, whatever you're smoking is that freaking top-notch high grade I see.
It is California.
Californians have the
still.
best.
But this is such a cool thing, and it's completely out of left field, and I don't know who's going to get it. I don't know who's going to wear them. I think it's great. I love
Mike,
it.
go, or not Mike, freaking Joe,
Me.
go buy a bunch of white swatches and a marker,
Look at a Sharpie.
and you're good. You're golden.
You could be, but I mean the watch is fantastically well done.
But the thing that you're trying to highlight is the materials used, right? You mentioned ceramic.
So it's the materials that are used and the proprietary way. I mean, they did it through the bracelet as well. The bracelet has the same kind of cut to it, and it's like, that's from a technical standpoint.
I guess I'll give you that. I don't know what it's like to have to engineer that, but to get ceramic to behave in such a clean manner, okay.
Right. Exactly. And so looking at it from a technical aspect, you can't kind of.
That's a very interesting point, because again, Cartier is a fashion brand, Chanel, and then Hermes is also doing watches. And
Right.
who are we to say they shouldn't enter the watch enthusiast space by virtue of them being a fashion brand?
Well, because we have that conversation about the fashion watch, right?
Yeah.
And they were always done by somebody else, and you just slapped your name on it. Like the Gucci watches were notorious for that, and Coach as well. These ones, they're putting research into it. They've got proprietary movements. They're putting in the work. So
I think of all the fashion houses, they're doing it the best.
They
Chanel?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Chanel or who now?
The
Chanel. I think they're doing it
Really?
best.
Yeah, because it's a great,
saying better than Cartier?
maybe.
Really?
I think I personally, I view Cartier as a separate. I don't consider Cartier
because of the fact that they actually have horological precedence.
Well, they've got that, but they've also, but the level of jewelry making and the finishing and whatnot that they do is kind of top notch. And so I don't know, Cartier may exist in a slightly different space.
Because I view Cartier, because they were the ones who made the first pilot's watch.
Right, they did the Sanchez.
That kind of sets them into horological precedence.
I'm putting Chanel in the categories with Hermes and Burberry and
Okay.
Who did you mention too,
Tiffany.
Joe? Tiffany, yeah.
Well, no, there's you already said Hermes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's
so
kind
out
of where
of
I'm
those
grouping them with.
guys-
But of that group, I think Chanel is killing it with their watches. That J12.
Okay, yeah, I can get by.
I mean, it's a 38 millimeter, and it 42 lug to lug. It's
42 lug to lug. Okay, yeah, I can make that work. Heck yeah.
The solid white, I think, is the best.
The solid white is good.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I like them. So my next choice is Oris.
Ooh.
And Oris had 2 releases that are kind of interesting. There was the Pro Pilot Altimeter, and it's a dual crown pilot's watch, black dial, black case, 47 mil, and that's nice. It's nice, but like 47, it's kind of big, but it's a pilot's watch, so it kind of works. I get it, but let's talk about the Pro Pilot X limited edition Kermit.
That is so cool.
It's a really cool.
It's
a
so
really,
cool.
really cool watch. And so
what?
I love it. I love this
And
watch.
you know what? I'm surprised you made this pick because that is a very not Joe watch.
It is not.
But
It is not.
I
And
love
saw
that
it.
you love it.
I saw it and it showed up because well, this is it. So the Rolex nicknames of the Kermit and the Cermit and the Starbucks and the whatever.
Yeah.
This one actually it is a
actually is a
collaboration
Kermit.
between it's a collaboration between them and the Muppet Labs, I guess. And so on the first of the month, instead of having a 1, you've got a picture of Kermit the Frog.
Mhm.
It's
Okay, I guess I didn't understand that connection.
That's the connection. That's
Yeah,
it. And apparently they've also released a specific song for it as well.
Oh,
that
really?
Kermit the Frog sings. So
Okay, all right. So then maybe I don't dislike it as much, but what I don't like necessarily is the price point.
oh yeah,
All right, so maybe it's just I feel like it's a lot. Isn't it like $4,000?
it's a lot. Yes.
I'm gonna pull it up here.
It is not, it's a titanium case, 39 mil. What's the power
4600.
reserve? Yeah, 4600.
Yeah.
They aren't saying that it's a limited edition, but it probably is. It probably
well,
is in a lot of them.
Yeah, they're calling it the Kermit edition,
Uh-huh.
but it's listed under the limited editions section here on
Yeah.
the site that I'm looking at.
Well,
Not
all
Horace
right,
website,
I guess the price isn't so bad.
It's not
If I was
awful.
gonna do Oris, I would do that big pilot skeletonized 10-day power reserve,
Yeah.
but that sucker's $6,000. So
Like for me, almost any of the Pro Pilots, they work. The Pro Pilot 10s for me, the case size is good, the dial shape is good. I like
well,
I'm okay
the
with it.
10-day that case is not good for me. But
Yeah.
they're fitting a 10-day barrel in there.
They're doing some really, really good work. They're doing some really neat things. So I'm up
Yeah,
on that.
that's
I'm up on that.
So what's your doo-doo watch then?
I don't like the new Patek Calatravas with the carbon fiber dial insert and the carbon fiber straps. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. It doesn't.
I don't think there's a single Patek that I look at and go, yeah, I want that.
We're talking like sort of the pinnacle and epitome of elegant dress watch. And it's like, oh, it's a new sporty Patek. Like, I don't know. It doesn't sit with me well. And it's not like I'm ever going to hold one or see one probably ever. So
well, we already know you
I don't think
like
my local
your
Patek
watch meetups tend to bring the heat.
yeah, right.
And somebody may end up getting one of these, and I might actually be able to take a look at it. But I don't think that Patek AD is going to be calling me for my allocation anytime soon.
Oh, you got your name on the list?
No, I don't even know how to say it.
You just
Well,
gotta
that's
go
why
in there and
they're
say
how
that
we'll call you,
you're with
silly.
the press, Joe.
What's that?
You just got to go in there, say you're with the press. You're part of the watch media.
That's right. I just
Pretty
did a
much
thing
just-
on Watches and Wonders.
Yeah, put your shirt on.
Walking in with
Make yourself a little badge.
no, I'll put the shirt on with my wife beater and my flip flops and my
Yeah.
and Go has to
Oh,
try
God.
on reversos.
And just hit them with the no, you don't understand.
So,
I am the spring bar.
I am. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. So that's all I got. That's all I got.
Well, that is not all you've got because there is an honorable mention. that
There's
you
okay,
snuck
so
in here.
there's a couple.
So
There's
let's
some
talk
other
about
notable
this
pieces.
because we didn't discuss this ahead of time, and I'm very interested. You have one brand on here that we have discussed
Mhm.
that I know you dislike.
I
So I'm
do.
curious to see if you like something from them or if this is another dislike. So
No,
hit me
no.
with-
So we're talking about the Jacob and Co. and the billionaire
Mm-hmm.
watch.
Oh,
right.
that's what you. Okay.
I'm talking about
So
that.
the new
I'm not
yellow
talking-
diamond version.
Yeah.
Yellow
I think that is. There is no way that I would ever wear it. To me, it looks fantastically gaudy, but from a technical a technical aspect, the way that the bracelet
Wow.
is done, the gradation of the diamonds and the sapphires that are in it, all of the stones, the stone setting, that's a pretty stunning looking watch.
Do you know how much that thing costs?
Oh, yo, you can't even. Oh God,
$20 million, I think, is the price
I
tag on
think
that
so.
thing.
Yeah, and there's only one, and whatever.
But
So,
have
know,
you seen the pictures of it on wrist?
it's huge,
Massive.
huge.
It
Yeah,
is massive.
yeah.
I'd
But
love to know what that weighs.
I don't know. I mean, they're talking about the way that they had set everything, and it's a mesh, so you can. I believe you can see the stones from either side.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I mean,
but
whether
just
you like
imagine that
it or
though.
not.
Imagine like you get out of your Bentley and you knock it against the door.
My
So,
Bentley.
I think it's a cool watch. I think it's a cool watch. I think that it's way over the top. I typically don't like the Astronomicas that Jacob and Co does. They are not my cup of tea at all. But I think that
Yeah, I like those a lot. But here's the thing: whether you like Jacob or you don't, their craftsmanship that they put into these watches is really fantastic. They do a phenomenal job at handcrafting, hand painting, carving, setting the stones. It's all in house. It's really cool. And that one, I do like the billionaire watch. I will say
it's
that.
interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The other honorable mention is Mont Blanc with
Okay.
their new chronograph, which doesn't have any pushers, and it's not a crown set. It is a bezel set. And so apparently the deal is you twist the bezel and it sets. You twist the bezel again and it stops. You twist the bezel again, it resets. And then you twist the bezel again and it'll start again. It's the continual action in one direction.
What? I'm trying to find it. I'm not finding a Mont Blanc chronograph without pushers.
It's brand new. It's a wonder of a watch.
Maybe if I type in.
So I don't really go to Mont Blanc for their watches. Their watches are cool. What I would like is I'd like to get a Mont Blanc Meisterstück.
Yeah.
That I don't know if that's gonna be my little gift to myself when I make captain or something like that, but I think
Well,
that
let
might be-
me ask you this, because right, you've gotten into the pen thing. I've got a few different Parkers that I've used for work forever, but I don't do anything with ink anymore. Everything is
Really?
it's all computer based. I don't have to sign anything hardly ever. So like for you as looking at it as something as for a captain, would you be doing that same kind of signature, or have you gone digital?
A lot of this stuff is digital signature. However, I take notes during the day during different briefings. But that being said, let's say like for my fake deployment in the summer going to JRTC, during that little environment in a simulated combat environment, I would only run a ballpoint or an actual graphite pen or a pencil.
Right. Yeah, that's and so like because you if you're going to be out, you wouldn't. That's where I mean I understand and I like the pens, but for the price, it's like that's a
collect it type of thing, I think.
Well, there's but if you haven't written with a really fine pen, and you know, not a roller ball, but like a really good ink. There's a difference. You got like a rhodium nib or a white gold nib. It makes a difference.
Well,
it's a nice.
This is not a top quality thing. This is a Parker Vector. It's a $15 pen.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Those are great.
But I absolutely love the way it writes. But it pisses me off in the morning when I gotta dip it in some water to free up some of the ink. Like, what is that BS? I can imagine myself out in the field getting frustrated, needing to take and I'm sitting there sucking on my pen like a weirdo. What
you
the
gotta shake
hell?
it and all that.
No.
So you're not dipping the quill into the ink bottle as well.
Not yet. No, this has its own ink.
He would have his secretary do that.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, so it
As he
has
gets
its
out of
own
his-
little ink
As he gets
cartridge.
out of his Bentley wearing his billionaire Jacob.
You know, his valet has already laid out his dress uniform and his ostrich plumes,
Yeah.
so he's fine for that.
Yeah. Damn it, now I got ink all over my hands.
So back to the watches. Mont Blanc generally doesn't do it for me as far as watches go. I just can't get
Dude,
behind
they're
their
a world timer.
See,
Eh.
so Mont Blanc had a history that's fantastic, but it's when they just bought Minerva. They bought the Minerva movements, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden they just kind of skyrocketed. Have been doing some really interesting things. The watches aren't necessarily for me. They're all typically a little large, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the styling of them, some of the execution is excellent, and I do appreciate that very much.
I love their cologne. They make great cologne.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
Oh man, I didn't know they did cologne.
yeah. Mont Blanc has got some good cologne.
The things I find out about you,
Dude,
What?
my cologne game. My cologne game is whatever the hell I get for birthday or Christmas.
Your cologne game is whatever your deodorant smells like.
Old Spice.
Yeah, Axe, baby. I'm still in high school.
But do you do it in the X pattern?
Of course.
Oh,
He sort of sprays it up and then wafts through.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it. Oh goodness! All right, last calls. Joe,
Got a
are
last
you? Yeah, is
Got a
this
last call.
aimed at me?
It is. It is,
Because
but-
let me tell you, hold on. Let me tell you, your last call, I'm just going to announce it here, says mall watches.
It
And
does.
ever since I brought up the topic of mall watches to Michael, let me tell you how many people have brought up mall watches to me.
Ah,
You say mall watch one time, and people don't let you live it down.
never. But but here's the thing. Here's the thing, is I was thinking about this, and
Yeah, please, yes.
I put some
enlighten.
no. Hang on. The mall watch. And I believe that before you backpedaled so damn hard, you were putting it out as you were essentially talking about fashion watches. You were talking about it's a no-name movement. You stamped a name on it and you're done, right?
Mhm.
But I started to think about that, and it's like, okay, the sort of the epitome of the mall watch is the Fossil store, right?
Okay,
You go with me on that, right?
Yeah.
Fossil owns Zodiac.
Now, hold on. I'm not equating.
I know,
Bulova to
no,
being
no,
a Fossil
whoa,
watch. Okay,
whoa,
all right.
whoa, no. But so Fossil owns Zodiac.
Mhm.
When you go to a mall, if you can find one that's still open, because they are closing like wildfire out here. I mean, they're just
What, a
gone.
mall or a fossil store?
The mall.
Oh,
I don't know where the
okay.
Fossil store goes. And as all of the
It's a
as all
fossil.
of the, it's going to become one, but because everybody's doing direct sales now, and so it's a whole lot easier to just drop ship from wherever. You don't need the AD network in the same way that you used to. You definitely don't need a storefront, right? But
Yeah.
looking at that way, it's like, okay, the department store is where a lot of the watches are now. You're getting them at Macy's, you're getting up at Nordstrom's, you're doing that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then when I start thinking about the malls in at least the area that I am, we've got South Coast Plaza nearby, which is massive high end. There's Patek is there. Along and Son is there. JLC is there. There's a Rolex store that doesn't have anything in it. But they've got it is
Does it just say coming soon in the windows?
it says you wish.
right.
Yeah.
So they've got this place has got all of the high end. They've got a Cartier store. They've got, it's all there. It's a destination buying spot. And so you start talking about mall watches, and I immediately thought of that. Like my mall is not your mall, I don't think. And granted, my mall it's an outlier, but I think that
Mike. He pulls up in his Bentley. Remember?
right with my
Yeah.
flip-flops on. So I think that like this phrase of a mall watch, it's not it's not anywhere close to what it used to be, and that we may have to start changing our paradigm and changing how we think about
Okay.
that sort of statement. I don't know.
Okay. So maybe now more like your e-commerce watch, your web watch,
Maybe your Instagram ad
Amazon
watch.
2-day shipping watch.
With the whatever that showed up in your reels that was sponsored, your sponsored advertisement watch.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it stuck with me as I sat there gleefully watching you squirm. That was
I
so
know. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah,
What
I've
did I
never
tell you?
seen a more insulted person.
Hold on. Hold your glass down. Look at how far down he's into that glass. I
Of
told
course.
you he was going to get interesting at the bottom.
You're right. You're absolutely right. God, that's funny.
What, the belch was interesting. Hey, look, Shrek
Just
said
that it
best,
came out
better
of
than
nowhere.
in. And
Time
listen,
out.
I'm not trying to, yield an explosion more than what I've already had.
Fair.
Oh my gosh. Is that it? Is that all
That's
we
it.
got this week?
That's
That's it.
All we got. So how do they get in touch?
So, Joe, Casey, and myself, we make up the Spring Bar Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. You can email us, the Spring Bar Podcast at gmail.com. On a personal level, I am 120 clicks, all spelled out, one long word, 120 clicks. Joe.
I am Watch Taylor Youth, all one word. EUPH. KC.
I am time.hack1636, and I have a review of the Bulova Wilton GMT that will drop. Well, it'll be tomorrow from this episode, but by the time you listen to this, it's been out for a week.
Don't forget, we are Bulova and Citizen Watch affiliates. That means if you decide after watching Casey's review video you want to go buy one, click on the links that we can provide for you, and your purchase just helps out the show a little bit, supports us financially, because running a podcast isn't free. Till next time, we talk about watches that everybody else has talked about before us.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.